Do you ever feel like you're wearing a mask, hiding your true self from the world? We live in a society that often seems to value perfection over authenticity. We're encouraged to present a polished, flawless image of ourselves to the world, one that's free of flaws, free of vulnerabilities. We're told to smile, to be happy, to have it all together all the time. But have you ever stopped to consider the cost of this constant performance? This perpetual masquerade can be exhausting, and it can take a toll on our mental health. We may start to feel disconnected, not just from the people around us, but also from ourselves. We become so accustomed to wearing this mask, so proficient at playing this role, that we might even forget who we are beneath it all. We might lose sight of our true selves, our authentic selves in the process. We hide our vulnerabilities, our fears, our insecurities, our dreams, our passions, everything that makes us uniquely us behind this mask. And what's the impact on our relationships? When we're constantly hiding behind a mask, when we're not being true to ourselves, it becomes difficult to form deep, meaningful connections with others. After all, how can we truly connect with someone else? How can we truly be seen when we're not even showing our true selves? But what if we could drop this mask? What might happen then? Imagine a world where we're free to be ourselves, to show our vulnerabilities, to be authentic. A world where we're not judged for our imperfections, but celebrated for our uniqueness. A world where we're not just seen, but truly understood. It's a scary thought, isn't it, to drop the mask, to be vulnerable. But as we'll see in the next scenes, it's a journey that's well worth embarking on. So let's take off the mask, let's embrace our vulnerabilities, let's be authentic. Because it's only when we're true to ourselves that we can truly be happy. But what if we could drop this mask? What might happen then? Imagine a world where we all felt comfortable showing our vulnerabilities. What might that look like? In this world, vulnerability is celebrated as a strength. It's an emotional state that allows us to be open, real, and authentic. It's that raw moment when we expose our true selves, not knowing what the reaction will be, but doing it anyway because it's who we are. Vulnerability is not about weakness or being overly emotional. Quite the contrary, it's about courage and authenticity. It's about having the guts to say, "This is me with all my strengths and flaws, take it or leave it." It's about letting go of the fear of judgment and embracing the beauty of our imperfections. Imagine the type of connections we could form if we all embrace this level of openness. The relationships that we could cultivate would be deeper, more meaningful. They would be based on a mutual understanding and acceptance of each other's authentic selves. These are not just hypothetical assumptions, but findings supported by numerous scientific studies. For instance, research in the field of social psychology has repeatedly shown that vulnerability can lead to stronger and more fulfilling relationships. It's the secret ingredient that fosters trust, respect, and intimacy. When we let our guard down, we invite others to do the same, creating an environment where genuine connections can flourish. Think about the times when you've shared a personal story, a fear, or a dream with someone. How did that make you feel? Perhaps it made you feel understood, accepted, and closer to that person. That's the power of vulnerability in action. But vulnerability is not just about improving our relationships, it's also about being true to ourselves. When we are vulnerable, we acknowledge our emotions, our desires, and our experiences. We validate our existence and our feelings. We embrace our humanity. So let's strive to live in a world where vulnerability is not seen as a weakness, but as a strength. A world where we are not afraid to take off our masks and reveal our authentic selves. A world where we can say, "This is me and all my vulnerability, and that's perfectly okay." Remember, being vulnerable is not a sign of weakness, but a path to authenticity. It's about being real, being you. And that, my friends, is the true power of vulnerability. So, what does it mean to be authentic, and why is it so important? Authenticity, my friends, is about being true to yourself. It's about living in alignment with your values, your beliefs, and your desires. It's about embracing who you are, quirks and all, and presenting that self to the world without fear of judgment or rejection. And why is authenticity so important? Well, let's delve into that. You see, when we live authentically, we give ourselves permission to be vulnerable. We let go of the need to put up a facade or to wear a mask. We open up, we share our true selves, and in doing so, we connect with others on a deeper, more meaningful level. Now let's talk about the link between vulnerability and authenticity. Vulnerability is the birthplace of authenticity. It's where we shed our protective layers and expose our true selves. And yes, it can feel scary, but it's also incredibly liberating. It's where we find our voice, our passion, our purpose. It's where we discover who we truly are. When we embrace vulnerability and authenticity, we invite a wealth of benefits into our lives. We feel more connected to others and to ourselves. Our self-esteem improves because we're not constantly trying to live up to an idealized version of ourselves. We experience less anxiety and depression because we're not suppressing our true feelings and desires. Living authentically also improves our mental health. When we're true to ourselves, we're less likely to experience feelings of inadequacy or to engage in self-destructive behaviors. We're more resilient, more confident, and more fulfilled. So authenticity isn't just about being true to yourself, it's about living a richer, more meaningful life. It's about connecting with others on a deeper level. It's about embracing the beauty of our unique selves and sharing that beauty with the world. But how can we start to embrace vulnerability and authenticity in our own lives? Well, that's a journey unto itself and one we'll embark on in the next scene. Stay tuned. Embracing vulnerability and authenticity may seem daunting, but there are steps we can take to get there. We often fear that showing our true selves will lead to rejection or judgment, but the reality is our authenticity is our greatest asset. And the first step to embracing this authenticity is practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion is not about ignoring our flaws or pretending they don't exist. It's about acknowledging them, understanding them, and accepting them as part of who we are. When we practice self-compassion, we give ourselves permission to be human, permission to make mistakes, and permission to grow from them. Next, seeking therapy or counseling can be a powerful tool on this journey. A good therapist can provide a safe, non-judgmental space where we can explore our feelings, our fears, and our desires. They can guide us as we navigate our path to authenticity, helping us to understand ourselves better and to develop strategies for managing the challenges we face. And then there's the power of community. Connecting with others who are also on a journey towards authenticity can provide a sense of belonging, a sense of understanding. These supportive communities can be found in many places, from online forums and social media groups to local meetups and workshops. They provide a space where we can share our experiences, learn from each other, and provide encouragement and support to one another. But perhaps the most important step is simply this: be patient with yourself. This journey is not a race. It's not about reaching a destination, but about the journey itself. It's about learning, growing, and becoming more comfortable with who we truly are. So take the time to practice self-compassion. Seek help if you need it. Connect with others who are on a similar journey, and most importantly, be patient with yourself. Remember, this is a journey. It won't happen overnight. But every step you take towards vulnerability and authenticity is a step towards a more fulfilling life. So, are you ready to drop the mask and embrace your true self? Let's just pause for a moment and ponder on this. It's a courageous step, one that takes us out of our comfort zones, but remember, it's through discomfort that we grow. It's through vulnerability that we truly connect, peeling away the layers, the facades, the personas we've built up over time. It's not an easy process. It's a journey of self-discovery, a journey towards authenticity. It's a journey that leads us to the very essence of who we are. And isn't that a journey worth embarking upon? By allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we open ourselves up to deeper connections, more meaningful relationships. We invite genuine interactions, real conversations, honest feedback. We allow ourselves to be seen, to be known, to be understood. And in that vulnerability, there's power. The power to inspire, to influence, to impact. The power to create change in our lives and in the lives of those around us. The power to be our authentic selves. Authenticity, it's magnetic, it's compelling, it's captivating. When we are true to ourselves, when we embrace our strengths and acknowledge our weaknesses, when we celebrate our uniqueness and accept our quirks, we draw people in. We become a beacon of authenticity in a world of pretense. So why not take that step today? Why not choose authenticity over facade, vulnerability over pretense, courage over fear? It's a choice that can transform your life, that can lead you to deeper, more fulfilling relationships, that can help you live a life of purpose, of meaning, of authenticity. It's time to drop the mask. It's time to embrace vulnerability. It's time to be your true, authentic self. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. There's a community here ready to support you, ready to walk with you on this path towards authenticity. Embrace the power of vulnerability. Be your authentic self. And remember, you are not alone on this journey. Subscribe to our channel for more guidance and inspiration in your journey towards authenticity.